Out of every 100 candidates who show up for Delta Force selection, roughly 90 will be gone within a month. These are not regular soldiers. These are Rangers, Special Forces operators, men who have already survived some of the hardest training the military offers. And Delta Force will eliminate almost all of them anyway. This is not accidental. The system is designed to break people. The training exists to find the handful who cannot be broken. Everyone else is removed by design. By the end of this, you will understand why Delta Force training eliminates almost everyone. Not because candidates are weak, not because they lack skill, but because the training reveals something most people do not want to see about themselves, something they cannot change once it is exposed. Most people think Delta Force selection is about physical endurance or tactical ability. They are wrong. The real selection happens inside your head, and most candidates never see it coming. Delta Force is the first Special Forces operational detachment. Created in the late 1970s, it handles the missions other units cannot touch: hostage rescue, counterterrorism, direct action against targets that require absolute precision and total silence. The unit was modeled after the British SAS. It operates in small teams. It exists in the space between what is official and what is deniable. Operators work in the shadows. The missions are classified. The failures are buried. Delta Force does not recruit from the general population. You must already be a seasoned operator. Most candidates come from Army Special Forces or the 75th Ranger Regiment. You need years of service, combat experience, and a spotless record just to be considered. Most people think Delta Force training is about pushing your body to the absolute limit. They imagine brutal physical tests, sleep deprivation, carrying heavy loads across impossible terrain. All of that is true, but it is not the reason candidates fail. People believe that if you are strong enough, disciplined enough, and motivated enough, you can make it through. They think the training is a ladder. Complete one challenge, move to the next. Eventually, you reach the top. This is the myth, and it gets almost everyone eliminated. Because Delta Force training is not a ladder. It is a filter designed to remove people who think that way. Delta Force selection is built around uncertainty. You are never told how you are performing. There are no milestones, no encouragement, no feedback. You complete a land navigation course in the mountains of West Virginia. You are given coordinates and a time limit you do not know. You finish. An instructor marks something on a clipboard. You have no idea if you passed or failed. The next day, the distance increases. The weight in your pack increases. The time limit gets tighter, but you still do not know what the limit is. This continues for weeks. Every day you wake up not knowing if today is the day you will be told to leave. You see other candidates disappear. No explanation, no warning. One morning they are just gone, and you have no idea why. The training is designed to create a state of permanent doubt. You cannot know if you are succeeding. You cannot know if you are about to be eliminated. You cannot know anything except that the pressure will never stop. The physical exhaustion is extreme. Candidates navigate 40 miles with a 45-pound pack in unknown time. They do this after weeks of minimal sleep and constant stress. Their bodies are breaking down, but that is not why they quit. Most people quit because they lose the ability to trust themselves. They finish a navigation course and have no idea if they did well or poorly. They complete a task and receive no confirmation. The doubt begins to eat them. The mind starts asking questions. Am I good enough? Did I just fail without knowing it? Am I wasting my time? These questions grow louder every day, and Delta Force gives you no answers, only more uncertainty. Some candidates quit because they convince themselves they have already failed. Others quit because they need to know where they stand, and the training refuses to tell them. The mind cannot handle operating in a vacuum. It demands certainty, and when it does not get it, it begins to collapse. Delta Force training never gives you relief. There is no moment where you can relax and know you are safe. Even if you make it through the physical selection, the pressure intensifies. You face a board of senior operators, psychologists, and the unit commander. They ask you questions for hours. They dissect every answer. They watch every gesture and every hesitation. They are not trying to find the right answers. They are trying to find cracks in your mental armor. And they will find them.
The psychological evaluations are relentless. You are exhausted. You have been operating on minimal food and sleep for weeks. Now you must sit in a room and defend your every thought and decision, while people who have survived the worst missions in modern warfare try to break you mentally. This is when candidates realize the truth. The land navigation courses were not the test. The 40-mile marches were not the test. Those were just tools to put you in a state where your mind could be evaluated under real pressure. The actual test is happening now. There is a moment during Delta Force selection when candidates understand they are not failing physically. Their bodies can handle the load, they can navigate the terrain, they can complete the tasks, but something inside them is breaking anyway. This is the moment of realization. The training is not testing your muscles, it is testing your ability to function when you have no control, no feedback, no certainty, no hope of relief. Most people cannot do this. Their minds revolt against the ambiguity. Candidates start to question everything. They wonder if they made a mistake coming here. They wonder if the instructors already decided they will fail. They wonder if continuing is pointless. These thoughts are the real enemy, not the mountains, not the weight, not the distance. Delta Force selection is designed to surface this moment, to force candidates to confront the part of themselves that needs certainty and validation. And for most people, that confrontation ends in elimination. Delta Force training is not designed to teach you skills. You already have those. You are a ranger or a green beret. You know tactics, you know weapons, you know how to operate. The training is designed to find the people who can operate without external validation. On a real mission, there will be no one to tell you if you are doing the right thing, no one to confirm your decisions, no one to reassure you. You will be alone in hostile territory making choices that could cost lives, and you will have to trust yourself completely. Most people cannot do this. They need feedback. They need confirmation. They need to know they are on the right path. Delta Force needs operators who do not, operators who can function in total ambiguity and still execute with precision. The training eliminates everyone else. This connects directly to why the training is brutal, why most people quit, and why almost no one can handle it. The brutality is not the point. The point is to create conditions where only people with a specific psychological profile can survive. Everyone else is meant to fail. Delta Force selection eliminates almost everyone because it is supposed to. The 90% who do not make it are not weak. They are not failures. They are simply not wired for the specific kind of mental isolation the job requires. The training reveals who you are when all external support is removed, when you have no idea if you are succeeding, when you have no one to reassure you, when the only thing you have is your own judgment in the face of relentless uncertainty. Most people discover they cannot operate that way, and that is the truth the training is designed to expose. The handful who make it through are not necessarily stronger or tougher. They are the ones whose minds do not revolt against ambiguity, who can function without validation, who can endure psychological isolation for weeks without breaking. Delta Force does not need a lot of people like this. It just needs to find the few who exist. The operators who make it through selection enter a 6-month training course, but even then they are still being evaluated. Many will be eliminated during this phase. The training never stops testing you, because the missions never stop testing you either. There are missions Delta Force has conducted that will never be declassified. operations where everything went wrong and operators had to make decisions with no guidance and no support. Rules Delta Force follows that are never written down but always enforced. And the question of what happens to operators after they leave the unit, after spending years operating in total secrecy with no recognition and no acknowledgement. Where do you go when you have been trained to trust nothing except yourself? That is a different story. For now, you understand why Delta Force training eliminates almost everyone and why it has to.